I had to take the needle out my arm, the crack pipe out my mouth, and the straw out my nose. For 45 years, I tried to fill that void with money, sex, and clothes. I wanted to be my authentic self while following others I chose, but I was all alone, all by myself when that cell door closed. Peace, family. I'm Mathematics, and I'm here to share with those that suffer from the pain of chronic loneliness, those that suffer from the pain of chronic lack of connection, those that suffer from the pain of chronic self-judgment, and if you're anything like myself, those that suffer from the pain from chronic failure in life. And you're not the only one. I was misinformed by the misinformed too, that pain is a punishment. But then my creative mind kicked in, and it told me that the first letter in pain is P, because we're planted in our pain to find our purpose. I also learned through my journey of transformation that it's easier to learn the right way than it is to unlearn the wrong way. And this is why it took me so many years to learn that failure is not a curse. Failure is actually a blessing, because it's failure that gets us out of the familiar. I failed for 45 years so that I could stand on this stage here today. 45 long years. Kobe Bryant failed for 4 seasons before he came back to win 4 NBA championship rings. LeBron James, King James, Mr. Resilient, failed for 9 seasons before he came on back to win 4 NBA championship rings. And arguably the greatest of all time, Michael MJ Jordan, he failed for 7 seasons before he came back to win not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6 double hands NBA championship rings. I have a blueprint, and this blueprint is called From Pain to Purpose. Let's look at the P. That's the prison time, the place where we go when we make wrong choices. Me, myself, I did 15 winters and 14 summers. Make wise choices. Put your hand up if you've been in the prison of your own mind. That's the toughest prison I've ever been in. How about the prison of procrastination? Anybody been in the prison of perfectionism? Procrastination is a prison because it's an abusive relationship that we have with the present moment, because we beat ourselves up all day for the stuff that we're not getting accomplished. Perfectionism is a prison because we tell ourselves that we have to think perfect, look perfect, and act perfect in order to be accepted, loved, and valued. The A, that's the alcoholism and addiction. I went through that for 32 years. Alcoholics and addicts, we have a spiritual void. It's called a spiritual malady. And there's 3 symptoms of the spiritual malady. It's restless, irritable, and discontent. So in so many words, we're uncomfortable in our own skin. This is why we reach for a drink, a drug, or a behavior to feel better on the inside, but it never works. It's not a long-term solution. We need a spiritual solution. The I, that's the insecurity. In my whole life, my insecurities have been on steroids, but I never knew why. But I realized another I word because I have a broken inner child. And that broken inner child suffers from self-doubt, self-hate, low confidence, and I had to become a parent to that broken inner child because it gives birth to the N, and that's the narcissism and the narcissistic traits. And a narcissist is an egomaniac with an inferiority complex, meaning that, come on now, meaning that we use an inflated ego to mask our insecurities, our lack of connection, and our inadequacy that we feel about ourselves. But this is why my whole life I presented as Gucci on the outside, but I was Kmart on the inside. I presented as lobster on the outside, but I was penny candy on the inside. And what a narcissist does is we struggle to see any importance and value in other people's feelings, needs, and emotion. I have a blueprint, and it's called From Pain to Purpose. And it worked for me, and I know that it can work for you. Let's look at the word purpose. This pain comes with consequences. And the first letter in consequences is C, because it hurts the people that are closest to us. With this pain, I broke my mother's heart. She's over here today. For 32 years. I broke her heart for 32 years with the overdoses, the prison time, the detoxes, missing my grandmother's funeral because I had to sell drugs on Mass Ave one more time. And she had to bury her, I'm her only child. She had to bury her mother all by herself without me present and be humiliated at the funeral as people asked her, "Where's your son?" My daughter Sky, you here? She was 2 years old. I overdosed in the house, not on one occasion, but on 2 occasions. And when I came home from prison, I was gonna take her to McDonald's. She loves McDonald's. She loves that Happy Meal, the chocolate milk. And as we were getting ready to walk out the house, she said, "Daddy, I ain't going with," she said to her mother, "I'm not going with him. I don't know who that is." And I'm her father. My son, Justice, he's here today. This was an accident, but when he was 18 months old, he swallowed a whole Suboxone. That could have been a whole different story than me being on the stage here today. As a direct result of my drug dealing and my drug using, I didn't see my son for over 15 years. My beautiful daughter, Kayla, she's here today. Remember, I came home from prison, I was doing all this posting on social media. Man, my ego, people were saying, "You look good. Look at him, we're proud of you." My ego was saying, "Man, you know, you the flyest thing since French toast and the sweetest thing since syrup." Right? Then bam, I got a message in my messenger that said, "I'm in this relationship and I'm allowing myself to be treated this way because you've been inconsistent. You haven't been in my life. You've been in prison. You've always put your drugs and your drug dealing before me. But my baby, she got a good man now." Check it out, right? Keep clapping, because she went back and got a master's degree too. Pain is the father of change, and this is how I transitioned to my purpose. And this blueprint worked for me, and I know it can work for you. The first letter in purpose is P. It's because we have to have patience. My whole life, man, I've been addicted to instant gratification. I want everything yesterday. It's always process over outcome. The you, the understanding. Love is the highest degree of supreme understanding. The more that we understand and love ourselves, the more we can understand and love others. That's healthy connections. The is my favorite, if you know me. That's the routine, the rituals. But routines and rituals have to be done in repetition. Repetition is one of the highest forms of humility because we're letting our big egos know that there's room for improvement. We have to do it again. Now, it's routine for me to put my socks on in the morning, right? And it's routine for me to put my shoes on in the morning. Follow me now. But if I say as I'm putting my socks on, "I love you, we are worthy," right? And as I'm putting my shoes on, we're making progress, and I'm healing. What I've done is I've added purpose to the routine, and that's what a ritual is. A ritual is routine with purpose. Let's go to the other P. That's preparation. People tell me all the time, "Yo, Math, you're lucky with the job you have. You're lucky to be able to go into the schools. You're lucky to be making music with Exit Fame. You're lucky to be doing podcasts." And the biggest luck, they told me, I'm lucky to be doing this TED Talk. Ain't no such thing as luck. When preparation meets opportunity, it's always a favorable outcome. Now let's transition to the O. This is the ingredient that no one wants to use in life. And this is the key to success. It's the open-mindedness. Open-mindedness takes you to all the places that closed-mindedness can't. See, right now, I can't see that wall behind me, but you guys can. I can't see that well on the sides of me, but you guys can. This is why I have to be open-minded to suggestions, constructive criticism, and to help. Moving on down to the S. Tough one for me too. That's the self-esteem. My whole life I've had chronic self-esteem. You build self-esteem by doing esteemable acts. I never did esteemable acts. And you might ask, what is an esteemable act? It's act of service. Being of service to your family, being of service to your community, being of service at work, and more importantly, being of service to yourself. And that's through acts of self-love, right? Self-esteem is a relationship that you have with yourself, but confidence is a relationship that we exhibit to others. And if I'm exhibiting confidence with no self-esteem, that's false pride. It's no good, right? But I'm going to give you the acronym for pride. Personal recovery involves deflating ego, and personal relationships involve deflating ego. So if you got some pride, that brings us to the E, the ego and the emotions. There's 3 commands of the ego. I want, I need, and you should. And if the ego's being fed those things, everything's okay. But if the ego's not getting those things, it leads to emotions, and those emotions are negative. Through our ritual and our routine and our repetition, we have to have things in place that can keep our emotions and our ego in check. Journaling, aromatherapy, self-reflection, meditation, having a sponsor, having a therapist, keep that ego in check. In closing, all of you guys have been beautiful. Ladies have been beautiful in giving me the gift of your attention, your love, and your encouragement. So I'm going to leave you with a gift. Many are called. Listen closely. Only a few are chosen. In life, you have to choose yourself. Self-love and self-care. Now, that's the true meaning of wealth. I knew if I could love cars, women, and drugs, that one day I could love myself. Always make your family proud and maintain your mental health. Never, 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 never live to impress others. Always live to impress yourself. From deadbeat dad to full-time father, from almost dead to helping others in life. Please, please, please heal from your darkness and come to the light. I love you, Ma. Your only child, your only son. Yo, I finally got it right. I leave you as I came, in peace. And if no one told you they love you today, I love you. Peace, mathematics.